to one and all here today on our second day. I would just like to brief you all about the netiquette policy we follow. Please do leave your audio mute at all times. For the convenience of the speaker, we request you to leave your video on at all times. Do not leave your personal information in the chat box. The chat box space is used for the purpose of a Q&A to the speaker. Please do not raise the hands if you do not need to. Thank you for joining us. We'll be starting in 2 minutes. A very good evening to everyone around the world for joining us today on the second day of Global Summit. This is Dr. Inia Tendal, Global Relations Officer of Tatti, welcoming you all to our summit. Yesterday was filled with a lot of powerful speeches from powerful speakers. The same is going to happen today. Before we proceed, I would like you all to take a pause for Tamil Thai Varthu. Thank you so much, everyone. Leadership, entrepreneurship, and future of tomorrow are always the key thoughts of everyone here at Tatti. With that said, I now call upon our COO, Mr. Joshua Gerard, to address the evening.
Warm greetings to everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all for the Global Summit. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. Your time is limited. It's about making things happen. It's not just about ideas. So with this, I would like to introduce to you today's chief guest, Dr. SETHUKUMANAN. He hails from a rural hamlet district from Kandarmanikam, Sivagangay district. He is the son of very great and human teacher, Mr. K.R. Sethu. He has received many awards and accolades. Some of them are Soka University highest honorary award by Soka University, Japan. Soka University degree of Doctor, honors causa. The honorary degree of Doctor of Literature issued by the World Academy of Arts and Culture, issued in the 16th World Congress of Poets in Seoul, Korea. Soka Gon Award of highest honor by Soka Gon, Japan. The Soka University Award of Education and Culture by Soka University Student and University Student Union. Michael Madhusudanan Award, Best Honor for Noble Creation by Michael Madhusudanan Academy, Calcutta. Rashtriya Ratan Award by Global Economic Council, New Delhi. The Ramachandran Ikeda Award by the Indian Council of Gandhian Studies. And the list goes on. With this, it gives me immense pleasure to bring to you the chief guest of today's, Dr. SETHUKUMANAN, sir. The session is yours.
So, thank you very much. I'm proud of you. A lot of youngsters also here. Thanks to all the people and Inia Tendal also. I started a small way. I started a school in Chennai, 88, only 8 students. Now 8,000 children are studying Sethu Bhaskara school. And we have 24 visually challenged children also studying, and 240 father and motherless orphan children also free education they are studying. 2000 I started a college in the name of Soka Ikeda Women's College. That is nearly 2,200 girls and 160 staff members are working in Ambattur, Kolattur area, so Chennai 99. Now we gave to Tilpaka Medical Hospital. Today 150 beds are ready, and more than 20 people, Corona people are there. So this is our service to the society. Then after 32 years, I returned back to my village. I purchased 240 acres land and started a agri college. So nearly we have 55,000 tree planted. One set of students, 4 years course, one set of students they gone out. Now the second batch is ready. In the meantime, so whenever time permits, kindly visit Karaikudi. You can enjoy the animals and vegetables. Daily we are collecting a lot of things. We respect and kindly visit Karaikudi Agri College. When I started Agri College, 240 acres purchasing is not a joke. It's a very, very tough time. And after that, we can get it a permission from the government. That is also a very tough. The third one is we can get it a permission from Tamil Nadu Agri University, Coimbatore. That three steps we have to jump. So suffering. Then we finish all the work. And the student also joined, building also completed. I decided I want to go some other place. I want to, without people now. So lonely place I find out. I'm searching. Finally, I got the place name is called Antarctica. I was in Antarctica 1 month. And after that only, I'm really very happy and return back and start the work. Thank you very much. So this is Sethu Bhaskara Agri College because of Dr. Abdul Kalam ji, our former president and people president. He told me that we have to start something in the village side. So we have a special meeting. When he was the president in Rashtrapati Bhavan, he invited me and he took a class nearly 15 minutes for me. Then after that, I started in his name, Dr. Kalam Kavi Gramam. Like that I started. It is going on well. So thank you very much. So any question or anything, you can call me and I will explain you.
Thank you so much, sir. We just have one question from the young generation. Do you think we all have the right to come back and do agriculture once again from the start? And do you think that is the future of tomorrow?
Definitely. So a lot of support in Tamil Nadu Agri University. One of my friend, Dr. Anandan, so he is a director of correspond course. So yeah, anybody can join. Any engineers also join, or business people also join the course. So when I was in Vanuatu, we heard about South Pacific. One island name is not island. There is a country Vanuatu. That country they invited me. I went to there. There Vanuatu port to. They took me on a helicopter, small helicopter, and we reached the mountain. There they are planning to plant a Murunga tree, 240 acres, Murunga tree plantation. So everywhere the Murunga is famous. And when I was in Atlantic Ocean, Cape Verde, one of the country name is Cape Verde. So I visited a few months back. There is a lot of neem tree. Yeah? The neem tree they planted. The tree came from South India. So now we are also having 10,500 neem tree. So we are collecting the leaves and we make it a powder and we are sending to Chennai, make it a tablets. This is good money for us. So that's why anybody can now, if you are interested, you can start a small, when you are working or when you are doing business. This is also one of the agri is the business with the support of engineers, with the support of interesting people. So if you are interested, please discuss with us and we all support for you. The future is agriculture is the best business also.
Thank you, sir. One final question before we wind up. Do you think that technology has an impact with agriculture today and in the future?
100%. So we are many times I visited Israel. So there Israel, one Mr. David, he is having a pomegranate business in pomegranate plantation and avocado plantation. And now they have started 5,000 acres in Tamil Nadu only. Tamil Nadu, Kodaikanal to Ooty and Ooty to Kerala, up to Kerala and Andhra, Karnataka side. So more than 5,000 acres they have planned, they have started, the work is going on very, everybody like avocado. So the same person in Asia level, number one of pomegranate business people. So they are having more than 6,000 acres. one Mr. Naidu and Mr. David, they are doing in pomegranate, one of the best business in Europe level. To all the places, they are selling very good business. All technology. Without technology, we can't do anything. We can't do no improvement, nothing. So in our place, a small village, the government gave the project and we put it a poly house. 10,000 nearly was 75 cent. We spent 10 lakhs 40,000 rupees. The government is giving 4 lakh 40,000 rupees subsidy. So government is supporting lot. The local AO mean agri officers. They are young people. They are the people who are ready to support anything. So we have to use that one. Anything? Hello. So we have to use. So if anybody interested, kindly contact, and I will explain, and I will in future also we can do something. So please visit Karaikudi Agri College. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for sharing your valuable inputs about agriculture and how the future is going to be. And thank you for giving us this invite to come and visit you too.
Yes, sir.
So, and for taking your time off in spite of your busy schedule to come and be with us today, sir. Thank you very much.
If you are interested, come and visit Kenya, Nairobi. So there 6,000 people are working only for 400 variety of roses, and they are producing 200 variety of roses. My friend is doing he studied only up to 9th standard. 25 years he went to there and started a business. He's a number one flower man in the world. His head office is in Dubai. Nearly 1,000 vehicles are there. So more than 3,000 people are working in Dubai. And he is having a farm in Ethiopia. So 150 acres. If you are interested, kindly visit. The accommodation, food, everything we are giving for you. Don't worry. Kindly visit. The travel is the investment. So kindly do it, and we can learn more and more, and you can start your own business, or you have to support other people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your motivational speech, sir, and for inviting all of us. It was a great pleasure to have you with us, sir.
Thank you, sir.
That was SETHUKUMANAN, sir, who always says that success doesn't hide from hardworking people. So I wish all of you a very successful evening. With that, I would like to invite Daniel Felix Joseph, IQAC coordinator, Petrosian College of Arts and Science, to introduce the first speaker of the day, Sri Thiru Ganesan, co-founder of Kaiba Inc.
Thank you, Mr. Joshua. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much on behalf of Tatti, as well as on behalf of Petrosian College of Arts and Science, Chennai, Adyar. First of all, we are very glad to be associated with Tatti, and through our association with Tatti, we have been invited here to the Global Summit. For that, I thank Tatti for inviting us. And now it is my honor and my privilege to introduce to this esteemed forum, Mr. Thiru Ganesan, who is the co-founder of Kaiba Inc. in USA. And his biography states that from his humble beginnings to a self-made president and CEO, entrepreneur Thiru Ganesan has established Kaiba into a global brand which offers high-performance technology solutions and services in IT and engineering. Mr. Thiru is a member of the company's board of directors, and he has co-founded Kaiba Inc. His leadership and creative vision are now leading Kaiba to success with an expansion in its global client base. So thus being said, I introduce to you all Mr. Thiru Ganesan, the co-founder of Kaiba Inc. USA. Sir, we are so glad to have you in our midst today, and we are expectant to hear from you, your words of wisdom and information exchange. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel, for the wonderful introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, everyone. And good morning to myself and rest of the team in Western countries. So Joshua, thank you for the opportunity. Tatti, thank you for the opportunity. And it's a great honor to meet everybody in this pandemic condition situations that we are all in. But I believe in creating opportunities when there's a crisis. When there is a crisis, there is a lot of problems. So how do you come out of it? What are the strategies that you can do and help yourself and help the country, help the globe? I'm all about using the opportunity and elevate ourselves, right? So I've been asked to discuss about the job opportunities and business opportunities both in India and US. As I said, I'll just quickly go through my life. I'm born and brought up in Trichy. I grew up there and studied computer science in Madurai Kamaraj University. And then I moved to US in 1997. For a year or so, I worked here, and then nobody gave me a job. Then I had to find my own job, right? So I started a company. I went and attended a lot of interviews, no jobs. So end of the day, what you gonna do? You gotta find your own job. So that's how we started. It's been 22 years now. I'm very gifted. We have operations in 30 states in the US, Canada, Mexico, and we also have operations in India. In Trichy, where I grew up, that's where I started our first operations. We wanted to give back to our community, where I grew up from, where I got my education, where I got my life to begin with. So we started the Trichy operations, then we have Chennai, Bangalore, and so on. So right now we are globally about 800 employees spread across various countries and states. We provide IT services, IT with engineering and professional. Apart from that, we have our innovations. We also make movies. We also have technologies. We have a Kaiba Kids Foundation, which does address the kids both in US, underprivileged young kids both in US as well as in India. I will share some of our websites shortly. What is right now, because right now it's kind of hard because we are in a pandemic and things have slowed down, but there are, how do we position ourselves, right? There are industries that does hire a lot of people. So I'm not just talking about the next 3 months, I'm going to talk about the next couple of years, what as a student, some of you are graduating or about to graduate, what do you need to look for? How do you position yourself, right? So first, some of the industries that really, hiring people is healthcare is phenomenally growing. Life sciences, there is a lot of innovation happening. There is a lot of R&D work is going on. Finding that whether it's corona, a COVID cure, STEM is another area where science and technology and engineering, that's another area where there is a lot of opportunity. Supply chain is completely crippled right now. So there is a lot of, nobody expected this, not even a country like US where it's highly advanced. They didn't have a proper roadmap on how to address this. So there is a continuous learning, and people are coming out of this whole thing. And at the same time, pandemic also helping companies to transform some of the ways that they traditionally work. I have a customer who's heavily invested in insurance. They invested large football field, cricket stadiums, baseball, concert halls. So they insure such a large facilities. So they are very traditional. They've been doing all work from office and old school way. Typically for them to get into this, even the work from home option, it takes about 8 years for them to change the way that they do. And this pandemic has really shortened the curve and make this whole thing virtual in 3 months. They're forced to do it. Now they are finding ways how to strike a deal, right? Sales team, which they have a large sales team, they go out in a golf course and network and sign up contracts and things like that. How do you do that? How do you interact with large customers when you sign up billions and billions of dollars of contracts? You can't do it over the phone. How do you give them the comfort? How do you give them the pitch of yourself? So those are the, some of the things that, people are navigating through, and people are, going through the things. I will send, how do I share this chat? Okay. I want to quickly post some of our opportunities. I want to make this as a more interactive session and leave my monologue dialogue quickly. So okay, I have sent the opportunities and all our websites into the chat portal, Josh and Daniel. So if you can pass it to the audience, that'd be great. And apart from what we do, we also do some innovations, right? I told you, like I give you a small example of now the recent investment that I personally have made. There is a company called Pork Logic. What they do is, we all heard about Fitbits. Fitbits is what we use to maintain our health and wellness. We walk, we monitor our sleep time, monitor how active we are, how agile we are, the whole 9 yards, right? So this company has invested, they started a concept called Pork Logic. They wanted to do Fitbit for pigs. Obviously, in Western countries, there is a significant amount of pork eating folks are here. So we wanted to make sure that how the meat is whether the meat is quality, whether it's the pigs are being healthy. We don't want to eat some animals that are not healthy, and create an awareness on the whole thing. So providing this, it's an organic, meat, and it's raised in a farm. It's very active. It's young, and we completely over 300 different features of the pigs. It's monitored. So when it goes to the shelf in Whole Foods or your meat markets in a large stores, and when customers sees that, and they know, they have the confidence. So I have invested a little bit. Now that company, one of the largest meat distributor, has invested close to $5 million on the seed funding alone. So this is a small, who would thought, a pork meat, you tie a Fitbit on a pig's and monitor the wellness of the pig, and then that quality of the meat, now from a $2, now you charge $10, people will buy. I don't want to buy, I want to eat meat that is right, that I know that is healthy. And if they say organic, then I know it's organic. I don't want to eat something that is dead already, So there is several, significant changes. So these are some of the things that are happening, right? Innovation is the key. As you are there, you may find struggle for, to get into jobs and things like that. You find opportunities within innovation. Digital is another major, amazing technology that everything is going on digital, right? Whether it's Netflix or Uber, and everything is digital. So mobile practices, virtual things, content is another thing. Content is the king now. So you have content, that's how you control the whole thing. Virtual, using offshore services, another big opportunity, whether it's IT services or knowledge services, BPOs, that's another large things. And then the distance learning, that's a huge thing. For Tatti, having this, have you ever thought about setting up this kind of virtual thing for a global audience? This is unbelievable, right? This is a breathtaking ideas. And co-working space. Nobody, and I myself thinking now, every team, even my Trichy employees are working from home. I thought they will not. I will never even thought about having those team work from home because they all work night shifts. So now they are working from home out of wherever they are, and things are normal. I mean, there are a few things that we still miss, but that's okay, But we are productive. Why do I need 5 different offices, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on rent and infrastructure? Maybe I can shorten it. I may just need a couple meeting rooms that I can rent it whenever I want. That's where the co-working space is happening, So those are the things that that I wanted to share. And in terms of jobs in US, still, digital, AI, artificial intelligence, data, data lakes, cybersecurity. Yeah, with the new virtual learning and technology and things like that, there is a lot of bad actors are there. So that's where there are companies and corporations are investing billions and billions of dollars on security. Cybersecurity is another major area that's going to boom and expand. And I see potential, a lot of opportunities, either as an entrepreneur or as an looking for a job. That's pretty much that I can think of. More than if there is any other questions that you have, I'm open and I can answer a few questions if you have.
Thiru, I'll get you the first question. It's from Dr. Palanisamy. Do you think India will benefit from the bad China's global relationship in relationship with the business?
What is the question again, Joshua? I'm sorry.
Do you think India will benefit because of China's bad global relationship in terms of business?
Yeah, but see, and that's a little political thing. So I'm not that. This is what I can think of, right? China is much ahead, much bigger. The economy is probably 10 times bigger than our GDP. They are well advanced. Even US, even if they want, right now there is not a great relationship between the US and China. Still, I don't think they can afford to do a lot of things, right? So it's going to take time. It doesn't happen overnight. Even if India wants to dissociate themselves from China, it has to, do a lot of things internally, prepping ourselves well. I mean, yesterday I was talking about to another forum. They asked for a similar questions in terms of our business. Suddenly the business, my business is collapsed because of certain things. Can I uproot immediately from offshore? I decided that I don't want India. Can I move everything to US? I can't. I have invested about 12, 15 years in my offshore centers. I cannot uproot everything here overnight. It's going to take time. I need to invest on technology here, tools, invest on employees, invest on my skills. So these are all going to take time, right? I mean, there are few things that you can do from a PR perspective, which is what I see by turning off this TikTok and things like that. But really changing the game, making India is a good thing. And I think it's a very effective if it gets executed properly, but that's going to take time. China doesn't happen, did not get the strength overnight. It took several years for them to be where they are. And you got to have the skill set, you got to have a consistency, you got to deliver to the global markets consistently. That's the key, right? Quality and consistent. You pay $5, you expect a value for $5. Same thing, India can repeat that, can take it and do the same thing in India. It's going to take time because you need people, you need skills, you need, again, quality and consistency. You need to make sure that the products that goes out are marketable. People are willing to pay and buy for it. Right? So I don't think it's going to happen over time. I mean, it may happen over time as long as we follow the process, we invest on things. That's why the investment takes time. We also invest, like my employees, I invest a lot in their training and development. That's an investment for us. For me to get things from them 2 years from now, I need to start training and investing on them, right? That's the key.
Thank you, Thiru. The next question is from Nazimuddin. What skills are needed to get a good job post-pandemic?
You got to have a flexibility, right? You need to be agile. Things now, there are people who are doing work are shifted to, now I look at it and see how efficiently I can do things. If my reception is working from home, I can able to handle it. Why do I need that job? Can that job be shifted to offshore? So there is a flexibility. You need to be an agile. You need to take more than one area of excellence, and you need to have that, the learning skills. Okay, there is an opportunity for you to do in other department. Are you equipped to do it? Are you willing to do it? Can you go the extra mile? Can you put that, can you sweat it out for next 3 months? And then prepare yourself, what is there and how do you, how do you position yourself to the rest of the crowd? Able, managers have, cultural, manage the, productivity of the employees. So you need to have that sense. So if you're a manager, you're already managing a team of people. How do you position yourself for your growth? So to me, passion is the key. Anything that you do, that you have a passion, and I'm pretty sure that you can do well.
Thank you, Thiru. Last question, Thiru. This is the last question, though. Is Park Logic planning to expand to cattle?
It is possible. Pork Logic is just an animal, right? Just for pigs now, and that can be given to, okay, you're a goat eaters in India, maybe we can do it on goat. We can do it on chicken. It's all about cost versus benefits. So it is doable. It is very much, how much of quality people, food that they all now look for, and even, if the meat is, if the particular cattle or animal is sick with high fever, we don't want that whole thing to be slaughtered. And I don't want the entire, in a group of, herds that is part of the cattle. I don't want to be touching that. So those are all the things that we don't know now, because we don't know what we eat. We don't know where it came from. We don't know how long it's there. When these kind of, technology that enables this, now the buyer will have the confidence of what they buy. So this is just an example that recently I've been I've been exposed to, and I thought that's a great idea, and I wanted to put some investment and see how it goes, right? As a student, this is how we need to think and think outside of the box and think what is out there and how do you change the crisis into an opportunity. And there are various things that we all can do.
Thank you very much, Thiru, for your valuable time. I think it might be very early in the morning to you there. Thank you very much for joining with us and spending your time, Thiru, and for your valuable inputs.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Thiru.
All right. You all have a great day.
Thank you, Thiru. It now gives me immense pleasure to welcome the next speaker of the day. For welcoming the next speaker, Lee Cochran sir, I request Professor Raghunathan sir, Principal of Guru Nanak College of Arts and Science, Chennai, to introduce the next speaker to us.
Good evening to the local participants and good morning to the resource person of the day. It's my proud privilege to welcome the participants and to this global summit, Unlock the Lockdown 2020, and to introduce the speaker of the day. Hearty welcome to Mr. Lee Cochran, Mr. Joshua Gerard, and all the participants who are now attending this webinar. That is this global meet. Mr. Lee Cockrell, former Executive Vice President, Walt Disney World Record. He joined the organization in 1990, July, as Director of Food and Beverage and Quality Assurance for the Disneyland Paris Hotels. Prior to joining Walt Disney World Company, he spent 17 years in various executive positions with Marriott Corporation and a lot of companies. He has got various experiences. And with these few words of introduction, I welcome one and all for this August evening, and I extend my hearty welcome to Mr. Lee Cockrell. Welcome you, sir. Hello.
Let me, all right, let me see. Okay, good morning, everyone. It's good to be with you. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what leadership, I believe, looks like during a crisis. I've learned a lot about crisis because we had to deal with 9/11 at Walt Disney World. I had to deal with opening Disneyland Paris and losing $1 million a day because we started off in a very rough situation. We have lots of hurricanes we have to deal with up to 200,000 people on our property. You know, there's one crisis after another in business and certainly in our personal lives too. And leadership is often the thing that makes it go better or go worse, depending on the strength of the leader. And I guess I could just tell you that if you're not a leader by the time the crisis comes, you're not going to have a very good outcome and very good situation. Not that you need to change anything when you're in a crisis. The thing you got to do is just spend more time on it and be more focused on it. And if you don't have credibility already with your team, and if they don't trust you already, that's not going to be the time to start to try to build that culture, that training, that whole area of people really believing in you and stepping up and being a part of the solution. So I always tell people, don't try to get ready for a big crisis, stay ready. And you really got to think about leadership in a way that, you know, I would say most of your mothers taught you about leadership, about being a person who has empathy, being a person who is disciplined. One of the main things missing a lot of times with leaders is they don't have the discipline to stay on track, implement the plan. They don't have the discipline to deal with the hard issues. They don't have the discipline to have the hard conversations with people who are not performing. And slowly but surely, you have a situation where your whole business gets out of control. So I would tell you two things I think about a lot is good leaders, like good mothers, have empathy. They love you, and they have discipline. They don't mind telling you what they think and trying to get you ready for the future and to be ready and to have a good, successful life. So I always tell everybody, when in doubt, manage like a mother. When in doubt, you don't know what to do, call your mother. She'll tell you what to do. And she will be honest. She will not spin it. She will tell you exactly to live by your values, to treat people respectfully, to be clear, to be candid, to be honest, to tell people the truth. And you can do that if you've already established a trusting relationship with them long before the crisis comes. You know, we should be working on this the day we come to grips with it. That, you know, it's when a lot of you became leaders when you were 12 years old, 15 years old. You had jobs, you had responsibility. You took your schoolwork seriously. You had good relationships with people. People supported you because of who you were, not what you did. You know, nobody cares basically what you do. They care about who are you? Can I trust you? Are you a person who keeps your word? Are you a person who I can rely on? Are you consistent? Do you do what you say you're going to do? Do you keep your promises? Are you credible? Are you reliable? I mean, that's what a customer wants too. That's what they want. I can tell you one thing, for customer doesn't care anything about you except for you to solve their problem. That's it. They don't care how many kids you have. They don't care what kind of car you drive. They don't care where you went to school. Everybody in the world has one interest, and that is solve my problem. And to solve my problem, they need to understand and believe that you are the expert, that you're the one they can count on. You're the one that won't let them down. You're reliable. And so somebody said earlier, a few minutes ago, get the relationships. Don't chase the sales, chase the relationships. Get the relationships so strong that before you need somebody, not after. Not, you know, we have all these people that call us right before they're going to ask for something. Make sure you have relationships with people long before. Try to sit down and write down, who do you need to have relationships with? Who do you don't have relationships with? And start working on that, because at the end of the day, many customers will even pay more if they have the right relationship. Customers will pay more if they trust you. They will, if you're consistent, if you keep your word. Customers, that's worth something, that has value. And we've all ordered things and dealt with businesses that did not come through. And how many times are we sorry that we took that lower price, or we took that promise that they didn't keep? These are things that really make a difference. You know, if you mess with me once and screw it up, I'm not going to do business with you again. You know, everything's a commodity today. You don't have to do business with people over product that much. You have to do business with people over, are they going to deliver? Are they going to, is their product going to be reliable? So I think during these pandemic and any crisis in the world, you got to be adaptable. You've got to probably be willing to change every day, because you're going to get new information. You can't stick, I always tell people, don't fall in love with your ideas. Your idea may be wrong tomorrow. Be open-minded. You know, we got a lot of Americans right now that are a real pain because they're macho and nobody's going to tell them what to do. And, you know, it's disappointing, and I don't trust these people. People say, I'm not going to wear a mask because I'm a big, strong guy and, you know, nobody tells me what to do. Well, I'm never going to do business with that person. I'm never going to forget who that is. And this is the kind of egos we deal with in life, especially men. Women don't have this problem. Men have this problem that they know everything. First of all, you're not as good as you think you are. So don't ever get into that position. I wrote in one of my books, when you become a big deal, don't go around being a big deal. Go around helping people, finding people to help you get better. Actually, people ask me what I did at Disney. I said nothing. I just had people who did something. I made sure things got done. I was not the expert. I had a great engineer. I had a great security team. I had a great purchasing team. I had a great shipping team. I had a great retail team. And people said, well, what'd you do, Lee? I said, nothing. I just made sure I had great people who knew what they were doing. And that's the name of the game. Everything related to your business is people. If you don't have the right people in your organization, and if they don't trust you, they're going to give you about 50% productivity. They're not going to help you be successful. But if they do trust you and they know you have respect for them and you're committed to them, they will be committed to you. And then you'll get 100%. That's the best cost management program in the world. People helping you run your business better, because even when you're asleep at night, they care. They're working on it because you've treated them right. You respect them. You train them. You develop them. You build a culture of respect. And, you know, around the world, we got a problem with that. There's a lot of people who don't feel respected. They don't feel like they're matter. They don't feel like people care about them. And let me tell you, when people lose hope, what happens? First, the first little things they do is they're not as productive. When people lose hope, they start stealing from you. When people lose hope, they start undermining the business. When people lose hope, eventually they'll move to violence. We're seeing it in the US right now. We saw it in the 1960s here with African Americans burning the cities, and you know, you have the same kind of issues in India that we do here. It's in every country, frankly. It's a lack of respect. It's a lack of treating everybody respectfully. It's judging people because of where they were born, or are they poor, or because of their education, or because of, well, I don't know, sometimes what region they come from. You know, people in Florida don't like people in New York, and New Yorkers don't like people in South Carolina. And it's total nonsense. And the best leaders forget all that. The only thing you need to be worrying about is keeping your word, doing your job, being consistent, having good relationships, treating everybody respectfully, and doing your best every day. You know, somebody told do your best every day and then forgive yourself. Tomorrow morning, get up again and do your best. If you made a mistake yesterday, fix it. If you did something wrong, call the client. Tell them you're sorry. Apologize like you mean it. And, you know, you've got to build credibility. Credibility is everything these days. Nobody trusts anybody. Every time I order something on the internet, I'm almost sure it's not going to show up. You know, I'm sure somebody just screwed me, and all this fake stuff. And so we get to where we trust certain brands. And you know what's your brand? Your people and your integrity is your brand. Your people, your integrity, your honesty, that's your brand. Not your trinket, or not your pig, or not your, you know, whatever, your vegetables or pharmaceuticals. You are your brand. Your people are your brand, because there's so many other places we can buy the same thing. And, you know, at Disney, we know our people are our brand. That's it. People know the rides are going to be good. The attractions are going to be good. The shows are going to be good. The hotels are going to be good, but they are shocked at how great our people are. How our people treat everybody. I mean, everybody. And everybody watching this right now today, including me, knows what we have done in the past in our lives of not showing respect to some people. Everybody knows. You know, everyone's done it. You know about it. Everybody denies it, but it's true. We know. If we hooked you up to a polygraph test, it would, and I would ask you, have you ever not respected somebody because of where they're from, or what race, or what education? And you said no, you would be lying, because we all have, and we need to get over that, and we need to just focus on treating people right. It's the right thing to do. And when we can do that, your business is going to expand. You have to have empathy. If you don't care about people, they know you don't care about them, because you don't train them, you don't meet them, you don't know their last name, you don't know how many children they have, you don't know about the soccer game last night, you don't know their husband's in the hospital, you don't show any care, you could care less. People know. Everybody knows if you care or not. And if people know you care, they're going to care about you. That's the way life works. You know, everybody puts on a good face, but that doesn't mean they are being productive. That doesn't mean they're telling the truth. I can easily put on a fake smile, and you'll think I'm happy. We know how that game works. I don't believe anything anybody says. I only believe what I see them do. You can tell me anything you want, but that doesn't mean anything to me. It's like Donald Trump, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this guy is like a disgrace to America. So if you love him, you're not going to like my speech today, because I mean, it's embarrassing. It's totally embarrassing, but it shows you how many people in our country just don't get it. And you know what happens? People support him because they have an emotional commitment to ignorance. Emotional, macho. I like it. He's mean. He's tough. He's hard. Yeah. People, no, that's not the way to get support from the world, is to beat people up and to raise your voice to them and to treat them badly. There's no upside to this. If you think there is, try it with your wife. Yeah, try it with your wife. Raise your voice to your wife. Tell her, Oh, no, no. There's no upside to making people feel bad and not treating them respect. It's all downside in little ways that you'll never know how it affected your business. And let me tell you, this goes right to the bottom line of your business. This goes right to your sales. This goes right to your costs of doing business. This goes to your reputation. I mean, it's all connected. And sometimes I don't think we know how connected it is. It is all connected. The other things you need to be, is get prepared for future crisis. Get prepared. You don't buy a fire extinguisher after the house burns down. You buy it now. And you don't start exercising after you have your first bypass surgery. You exercise now. You don't start telling your wife you love her after she leaves you and divorces you. You tell her now. You tell your kids every day you love them, so that they grow up with good respect and honesty and integrity, and that those are the kind of things that, these are the kind of things that matter. Nobody cares anything about me, but can I do something for them? Do they trust me? Do they trust me? That's all. Do they trust me? And I get in trouble all the time because people get mad at me for talking about Donald Trump. And they say, you shouldn't do that. That's politics. It's not politics. It's real life. And I don't care whether they like it or not. I don't care if I lose business over this guy. I don't care if I sell less books. I don't need that anyway. It doesn't even matter. But I'm not going to sit there and be quiet and send the wrong message to my grandchildren and to my family about our ethics, our honesty, our respect for people around the world, because that's who we are. And you got to decide, who are you? Who are you? Because people are judging you every day about everything you say, everything you do. When you ignore them, you don't pay attention to them, you don't show appreciation, recognition, and encouragement to them. These are the things you do in a crisis and every day. Show people appreciation, recognition, and encouragement. Bring people together. It's like us talking right now. We're not in the same room together, but it's still uplifting to get together and talk and listen to these kinds of things. Human contact is very important. People who live alone, there's more dementia. People who live alone, there's more depression. People who live alone, there's more anxiety. So we've got to help. We can be, this is as good, do I like this? Yeah, I like this talk this morning because I'll feel better. I don't know if you will, but I'll feel better when I leave because we had a discussion about something important. And maybe somebody got a new idea about how to be better. And when you start being better, you do better. And when you do better, you think better. And when you think better, your business gets better and your personal life gets better and your health gets better. And thinking is a big deal, So most people are so busy, they don't think anymore. What should I be working on today? What should I be working on Saturday? What should I be on? Do things on purpose. Make a list of the things you need to do on purpose in the next 30 days, 60 days, and then do them. A lot of those things you're not doing because they're hard. People don't like to do hard things. They like to put them off. People don't like to have hard conversations because it's hard. But when you do hard things, life gets easier. When you do the hard things, your business gets better. If you take the easy way all the time, life is going to get harder. And just be honest, direct, candid, respectful, have humility, be humble, but be clear. Let me tell you, be clear. Just like your mother. Your mother is usually clear, especially Indian mothers. They don't mess around. They worry about two things. Mothers worry about two things: safety for you and education. Did your mother ever talk to you about education? Oh, yeah. I have a lot of Indian friends. Man, their kids are amazing. We have a school where we had 18 valedictorians where my grandkids went to school. About half of them were from India. About 25% were from China, and the rest were women. It's like unbelievable. And safety and education. You should be thinking about that with everybody you know. Safety, education. Train them, help them, keep them safe, keep them emotionally safe. When you tell my people you appreciate them, you respect them, that helps them emotionally. It helps them believe in themselves. Every day you miss opportunities of doing this, every day. So you ought to pick somebody today and go up to them and say, listen, I haven't talked to you for a while, but I want to tell you, you're doing a great job here. We want you to stay with us. You're the kind of person we need. And I hope you enjoy it here because we think you're just doing great. You think that person will like that? Absolutely. Go home and tell your wife, look her right in the eye and say, honey, I haven't told you for a long time, but I really love you. And she'll say, what's going on? Why are you saying that? But no, she'll get, you know, you got to do things on purpose because we're busy and the week goes by and it's the holidays again and it'll be 2021 and then 2022. And if you don't do things on purpose and think about them, you won't get them done. You won't, because time goes by and we do things that, you know, just time is not on your side. You spend money, you spend time. You can get the money back. Even during this pandemic, I always complained I didn't have enough time. I wanted to create an online academy for leadership, management, and customer service. So I've had 4 months sitting around here. So my partner and I, we developed a Cockerell Academy. It's going to come out in 2 weeks. It's going to be lessons on leadership, management, customer service, time management, how to plan your day, how to decision making, how to be a better decision maker. We're going to do some on how to hire people, how to fire people, you know, and we got it done because we took advantage of the time and stood around sitting worrying about the economy. Do what you can. Don't worry about what you can't do. Focus on something you can do. My granddaughter graduated from college this year. The market is tough for jobs. She got a degree in international business and marketing. She speaks fluent French. She has an EU passport. She's an American. She speaks Spanish. She's had 3 or 4 jobs all the time she was going to college. And so we told her, start your own business. Don't sit around waiting, just start it. And she did. She's got an online business now. And people got to do something. Don't sit around and think, wait for the pandemic to be over. You know, spend every day calling your old customers, your new customers. Spend every day doing things that are going to make a difference when this is over. Send your customers things that'll help them think about this. You know, there's time is, you know, people say, gosh, this might be in 2 years. Yeah, so you better be doing something before this is over, because 2 years is going to go by anyway, and you can sit around and do nothing, or you can be ahead of the game. And that's what I try to do right now. I'm getting ahead of the game. I'm creating product, and I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to make money sitting here in my house. And that's, you got to adjust. You got to be transparent. Tell the truth. Don't beat around the bush. Be clear with people with empathy and clarity. Empathy and clarity. Even when I fire somebody, I use empathy. You know, I tell them first when they walk in, you're fired, and now I'm going to spend an hour with you telling you why, so I can help you not do this again after I've talked to you 5 times and you've made no changes. Empathy. I want you to be successful. You've got to always, you can't, if you don't use empathy and discipline at the same time, you're not going to get the results, because people stop listening. When you're only using discipline, people don't listen. They're thinking about, they're thinking about what they're going to say. They're thinking about, they're not thinking about what you want them to think about, which is, I need to get better here. I need to listen to him. He's telling the truth. So that's another one you got to think about. And let's see. Front. And I would say for you and for me, when there any crisis at Disney World, you got to be present. People got to see you every day. They got to know you're involved. You're taking care of business. And every day at Disney, when there's a hurricane, I didn't come home for 5, 6 days. After 9/11, I didn't come home for 3 months. We were working in the office day and night, trying to get our costs down, trying to figure out how to reduce expenses. There's a time when you got to go in the bunker. You got to be present. You got to be in there with the people, and you got to be. That's what a leader does. And you got to think about it. Don't sit in the office. Don't avoid meeting with people because it's going to be difficult. They're going to be concerned. They're worried about their future. They're worried about their pay. They're worried about, and you can't help everybody, but you can help somebody every day. For some people, it's just some kind words. For other people, it's having the whole team get together and help buy them some food. Or so for somebody else, it's sometimes it's just understanding what they're going through and giving them some encouragement. And you do what you can. That's all I say. Every time I come into a situation with a person, I do the best I can. Sometimes I can help them, sometimes I can't. But at least I want them to leave and know I tried. That's it. Those are the kind of things that are going to make you so successful. They're going to make you different than all your competitors, because most people right now are so stressed out. They're not doing the right things. They're overreacting. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be cutting your costs and getting expenses down and doing whatever you have to do, but also balance that out with making sure you're spending time with your people, your team, your customers, and not just spend all day long cutting costs. Because when this is over, you're going to need people. And by the way, you're going to need your reputation. And people are going to judge you based on how we all get judged on how we handle crisis. We all get judged. Are you calm, cool, collect? Are you it's just somebody said earlier, the gentleman speaking before, attitude is half the battle. If you got a good attitude and you're passionate, the skill level will come, or you'll hire people for the skill level. You'll hire the IT person. You'll hire the engineer. You'll hire the truck driver. You'll hire the lady in the office. But they got to know you've got the right attitude. You're a role model. You're sending that. Role modeling is probably the best training in the world. That when you walk in the office, people are happy to see you because you support them and you're a nice person and they know you tell the truth. And when you have to be tough, you'll be tough. But just like your mother, when your mother got tough with you, you still love her, because she cares about you. And if you care about your people, then you do the same. Your mother does it because she loves you. You do it because you have respect for your people and want them to be successful. And under stress, a lot of us lose control. We start misbehaving. We don't pay attention. We're daydreaming. We don't get enough sleep. So we come in a bad mood. Most people don't get things done because they don't feel well. Those days when you don't feel well, you're sick, you got a cold, you got the flu, you drank too much, you did that. So the first thing is to make sure you take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people. As my wife told me, Lee, take care of yourself so you can take care of us. And I think that's right. You don't take care of your family first, you take care of yourself first. And then you take care of your family. And then you take care of your business. And if you have any time left over, you can go play soccer. But if you don't, you got to get your priorities straight. Every day, wake up and know. First priority is take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your customers. If you don't take care of your people, and I guarantee you, people procrastinate for the main reason is they don't feel good. They're tired. They didn't sleep. They ate too much before they went to sleep and they interrupted their sleep. They didn't drink enough water. There are many reasons, and you got to figure out why. I think about this every day. If I'm not feeling well, I try to think back, why am I feeling this way? And I can usually figure it out. So those are some of the things, and I could talk all day about this. I don't know how long I'm supposed to talk, but I'll be glad to take some questions. I'll direct you to my website, leecockrell.com, if you want to see some other material that's on there. I have a podcast. It comes out every Tuesday morning. It's 15 minutes. It's on leadership, management, and customer service. It's called Creating Disney Magic. It's free, cost you nothing. So all the finance people will like this because it's free. And if you get your people listening to it, it'll help them become better people. It'll be, people, we've got to get people to taking responsibility for developing in themselves. Don't just depend on the boss. We got to take responsibility. If I'm in IT, I got to take responsibility for keeping up, getting better all the time. Don't just wait for the boss to tell me to take a course or blah, blah, blah. You've got to push your people. And there's so many podcasts today. There's courses online. There's a million ways people can get better personally themselves. And you got to start to talk to your people that you expect them to become experts, to get better, and to spend some of their time learning how to be a better person for your company, how to be a better person for their employees. They got to hear this every day, like your mother. Your mother used to tell you the same thing every day for your whole life, right? Every day, the same thing. Mothers just keep telling you the same thing about education and safety. How many times did your mother tell you exact same thing over and over and over and over and over? Because it's important and people have to hear things. So you got to decide what your people need to hear, and you got to tell them when you see them in the morning. You got to tell them in the afternoon. You got to send the emails. You got to communicate. You got to make sure, because you may get tired of it, but half the people don't hear half the stuff you tell them. They don't understand. You've got to be clear about your expectations, and when you're clear about and by the way, raise the expectations for yourself, and then raise the expectations for your team, and you'll get better performance. Half the people don't even know what we expect. We don't tell them. We're not clear. When they don't do it right, we don't sit down and tell them in a training way. I say, don't be a big bad boss, be a teacher. Be a teacher. That's what your mother did your whole life. She was teaching you. You may not have liked it all the time, but she was teaching you. And that's what you got to be thinking. You can't go around intimidating people. You got to teach them, show them. That's all. Those simple things that make us all appreciate other people. And by the way, we all want the same thing. I want people to treat me respectfully. I don't want people trying to humiliate me. I don't want anybody. I don't care if they didn't even go to 5th grade. I'm going to treat people respectfully. They're doing the best they can, and I'm going to try to make them do better. And then one day, it's going to impact their children. When they get better, their children get better. When their children get better, their grandchildren get better. You change a whole lifespan. Even after you're dead, you're still affecting people because you were a good teacher and you taught them. And what you teach your people, they teach their people. What you teach your children, they teach their children. So be careful what you say and do. Be careful what you're teaching. Be careful what you say. Do the hard things. A leader's job is to do what has to be done, when it has to be done, in the way it should be done, whether you like it or not, and whether they like it or not. People don't have to like it, but they have to understand you're doing it for them. It's not for you, it's for them. And tell them that. Hey, this is for you. This is not for me. Your mother did all the things for you, not for her. I mean, she was doing it for you. And don't forget this. This is so, your product is the least of your problems. Your product is the least. By the way, if you treat your people right and involve them and listen to them and include them, they'll come up with some great ideas for you. They know things you don't know that you should know. They know how they can be more productive, and they're not going to tell you unless they trust you. People withhold information, but if they're a part of the team and they feel included and they have a future and people want to help, they want you to be great because it'll make them great. So that's all. I just get everybody in the world to try to think about how can we help people instead of making their life miserable. When they come to work, the sun should shine, because a lot of people are coming from very tough backgrounds and tough home lives, and they don't have a lot. And hopefully they get their inspiration when they come to work because you're a good guiding light for them. You may be more important to them than their own father or their own mother, or their, you know, you can be that leader in their life. You can be the role model that shows them, if you work hard and do this, you can be somebody someday. It's not hopeless. Because when people lose hope, you don't want to be in that situation. People will do anything when they lose hope. So your job is to be, help them with their dreams, help them with their education, their development, all those kinds of things. So I don't know. Is that enough? You probably say, good grief. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful inspirational and motivational speech. You have taught us how to lead our lives. Very informative speech, sir. We have some questions for you, sir. Can I go ahead, sir?
Go ahead.
The first question is from Dr. Janet. What was the biggest crisis incident you faced in your overall experience, and how did you handle it?
Yeah, well, a couple of things that were tough for me. I grew up in a very dysfunctional home. My mother was married 5 times. I've been adopted twice. I got my name Cockrell when I was 16 by husband number 4. I went to college and dropped out because I didn't know how to study. I was not a good student. So I went in the Army, and I started my career as a banquet server, waiter at the Washington Hilton. And the biggest struggle for me in the early years was my insecurity about not having a college degree, about whatever happens to you when you grow up in a dysfunctional family, your lack of self-confidence, your lack of believing in yourself. And so that was the early struggles. And the only thing that got me better is I worked hard, I was reliable, and I have a good attitude. So people started giving me chances. And I figured if you don't have a college degree, you better have a good attitude. And so I got the chance to do things, and I did a really good job. I always tried to be the best person in that job. And then I got promoted. And then I got promoted, and then I got promoted. And eventually, 35 years later, I was in charge of Walt Disney World. So that was the struggle. Personal insecurity of not believing that I could do anything, or I didn't believe in myself. I knew nothing about the world. I'd never been out of Oklahoma until I was 20 years old. I didn't know one black person. I didn't know one Indian. I didn't know one gay person. I'm sure I did, but I didn't know. Everybody, it was a very poor environment for bigotry and racism. And luckily I got out and went to the big city, and I learned that now I've been to 45 countries. I've been to India, I've been to Vietnam, Cambodia, all over the world. And I literally learned that half the stuff I thought was not true. I was a potential racist. I was a potential bigot, but I got out of the village and went and all my friends, and especially when you work in a hotel, you work with people from every country in the world. And you learn they're great people, and we became friends. And it was probably the best education I got, was being exposure to the world and experience. Education's important, but let me tell you, what's really important is experience and exposure to others, other ideas, other ways of doing things. So that was my breakout. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. A second question from Jeremiah. Regardless of industry or expertise, what is the single most valuable quality that you look for when hiring?
Well, the one thing I want to determine before I hire somebody, I always tell people, hire slow and fire fast. Take your time when you're bringing somebody into your company. And if you make a mistake, get rid of them. You know, you might make a mistake, but I'm looking for somebody that's got perseverance and that I trust. You know, I need people that are organized. They can tell me how they get things done. I'm looking for the same old thing, empathy and discipline. And I want them to give me examples of those two things, because I can teach them what they need to know technically. I can send them back to school to get technically qualified. I can take them to courses. I can send them to internet. But I need integrity, honesty, and I need to trust people before I put them in charge of the team that I'm hiring them for. So I would say that's what I'm looking for, is more about behavior and about values. The technical part is probably the easiest one for me. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. One last question, sir, from Anthony Sebastian. How do you monitor the performance of the people you lead?
How do I monitor the performance? First of all, when I was at Disney, I had my schedule every week, I spend a lot of time out in the operations, 4 or 5 hours in a park, in a hotel, walking the business, finding out what is really happening, not what people are telling me is happening, but going to see for myself and asking questions and talking to the frontline cast members and seeing if they are actually happy, seeing how they're being treated. And when people trust you, they tell me. I had a confidential voicemail number. People could call and leave me a confidential voicemail without their name and tell me about whatever was going on so I could get involved and fix it. And so I had a comfortable relationship with just about everybody. So they trusted me and they would tell me the truth. And when you know the truth, I knew what to do. And I met with my team usually about once a week. And after a while, I didn't even meet with them. I told them to send me one paragraph on 4 things every week. One paragraph on people issues, somebody they're dealing with, how they're dealing with it, what they're going to do about it, performance, whatever. One paragraph on projects they're working on. Are we on time? Are we on budget? One paragraph on processes, new ways of doing things, of shipping, whatever. And one paragraph on profit. How are we doing on our cost expenses? Those 4 things, they're in my book, Creating Magic. And if I know those 4 things, then I know what's going on. And I don't need to meet with somebody for an hour. Just tell me how we're doing with our people, our processes, our profit, and our projects. Those are 4 things. Tell me, I'll be up to date. If you want to meet with me, just call me. I'll be happy to meet with you anytime, but I don't need to take you away from your work all the time when you can just send me one paragraph every week. So I'm up to date. I can keep my boss up to date, and we're all on the same page. And if you're not making your budget, I can help you. I can give you some assistance. I can get finance involved. I can, whatever it is. I want you to be successful with those projects. So, and sometimes people don't want to tell you. They think they can fix it by themselves. But I told people, involve me. I will help you. I'm not going to be mean to you because you tell me you're behind on a deadline. I'm going to help you meet that deadline. That's my job. And getting people to tell you the truth is really the name of the game. And you helping them, using your influence, your authority, and your position to help them get it done. That's all. And train them and teach them and show them. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for taking all the questions patiently. On behalf of all the participants in this program, I would like to thank you very much for spending your valuable time and sharing your very thoughtful and inspiring message to all of us, sir. Thank you once again, sir.
You're welcome, and good luck to all of you. Be safe, take care of yourselves, and take care of your people.
Thank you very much.
And go tell your wife you love her. Take care.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
I now request Dr. Anne Beryl, ma'am, Head of the Department, Commerce, Women's Christian College, to introduce the next speaker of the day.
Thank you, Joshua, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
ma'am. Yeah. Good evening, one and all. I take this opportunity to introduce our last speaker for today's session, Dr. Somnath Hazra. He is part of the School of Oceanographic Studies, Jadavpur University, Kolkata, India. He is also the advisor for PwC India and Infinite Sum modeling expert in IIED, London, UK. Today, he is here with us to present the session on the topic Impact of COVID-19 on Indian Economy. And on behalf of Women's Christian College and Tatti, we take great pleasure in welcoming you, sir, to the Global Summit 2020. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Thank you. First of all, I must thank to the organizer for giving me an opportunity to share my views and my research on all that on COVID-19 and Indian economy. And And I must say thanks to Aya and Janet and also and Joshua. So before I, can I share my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Today I'll discuss, yeah, after that inspirational speech, I don't know how much it is suitable or not, but still I'm trying to do that. So today I'll discuss uh, impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy. Before going to the impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy, I'll start with some impact on India, world economy as well as the South Asian economy. After that, I'll come to the point that is the Indian economy sector-wise impact. I'll discuss. And we all know that COVID-19 triggered like a it's triggered like a global health crisis, and in addition to human enormous human toll, it's like leading to the deepest global recession since Second World War. So and to restrict the spread of the COVID-19, most of the countries had taken a lot of mitigation strategies, a lot of mitigation measures, and like lockdown, like closure of schools and non-essential business, restriction on travel and tourism. So all that mitigation measure has an impact on economy, and how the impact and the mitigation measures sharply decline the consumption as well as the investment, and not only the consumption and investment as well as the state and central revenue also. So now I'll come to the point, that is the how the world economy is impacted due to the COVID-19. So this is the structure what I say already, that impact of world economy, impact of South African and other Indian economy, sectoral impact, I'll say. And so now come to the point, that is the real GDP growth of the growth rate of world. So the sector wise, that high income countries, developing countries, low income countries, and world trade, we can see that I'm showing here only from 2017 to 2021 data. So in 2017, the growth rate of high income countries was 2.4%, and it is estimated, E for estimated and the F for the focus, and it is estimated that for the 2009 it was 1.7, and the forecast it going down like up to it's around 6.8% and GDP. So we can say how much impacted the global economy is, and in the same thing for the developing country, the forecasted global real GDP is 2.4%, and for the low income countries it is 1%. And if we see the world trade volume, that is it was in 2007 it was in 5.9%, and it will come down to 13.54%. It is forecasted in 2020. So we can say that how global trade has been impacted due to this COVID-19. And it has been said that World Bank already estimated that most of the countries are expected to face a global recession, and they have plotted this data from 1871 to 2021, 2021, and it has been the shaded area are basically for the global recession, and we can see that 1931, this is the deepest and the highest peak with respect to the 1931 global recession. So, and in 1931, the global recession, in more than 80% countries faced the recession, and in 2021, almost 95% country will face the recession. And how the recession fastest and steepest, we can see that the red line, if we concentrate on the red line, that from the March to May, we can see that how the line steeply downward sloping, and how the GDP is declining. Now I come to the point of the impact of South Asian economy. So if we go with the South Asian economies, the same thing happened in the other countries, like the sharply weakened the consumption and manufacturing activity, and not only the manufacturing and consumption, but also it has damaged the tourism and other service industries also. So impact, basically it is highly impacted, is basically due to the deterioration. That is the two type of impact: the deterioration of domestic condition, as well as it's coupled with the spillover effect of the global economic contraction. So there is two type effect impacted on the South economy, and a stronger surge of COVID-19 created a domestic financial stress, as well as deeper pullback on the remittance inflows. So if we see the cases in the COVID cases, this is not much bigger than the other region, but the impact is higher than the other region. If we see the COVID cases in the South Asian countries, we can see that Pakistan from March to April fourth week, from March to May fourth week, that we can see that the Pakistan always Pakistan get the highest position, and after that Bangladesh, and then after that other South Asian countries, and India get the lowest position. And that way, why this is India get the lowest position to the total cases per million persons? Because India started lockdown on 25th March, and after it's a stringent lockdown around the world, what WHO is saying. So due to this stringent lockdown, India's cases in India is much lower than the other South Asian countries. If we go with the South Asian GDP, so, like Afghanistan, Maldives, and Sri Lanka are the calendar year basis, and other countries are fiscal year basis. So if just we concentrate the tourism-based country, that is Maldives, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. So these are the tourism-based country, and maximum percentage of GDP comes from tourism and other service sector. So if we see the 2017, in Maldives, the growth rate was to 6.8, and it is expected that 2021 and 2020 it will come down to 13%. So minus 13%. So it is like huge decline in the growth rate. And in case of Sri Lanka, it is also always minus 3.2. And if we go with the Nepal, then we can see that 2021 is 2021 is 2.1%. So these are the countries basically based on tourism and other service sector. If we think about India and other countries, India and Bangladesh, that they are basically in 2017 the growth rate was like 8.3% and 7.3%, and they're coming to in 2020-21 financial year. That it is projected that forecasted that the growth rate will come to in India minus 3.2%, and for Bangladesh it is 1%. Bangladesh, major part of the Bangladesh contribution is basically that their garment industry contribution is higher. The export of garment industry and remittances are higher. In case of remittance inflow, like in case of remittance inflow in South Asia, we can say that by region that Nepal getting Nepal contributing the highest remittances to their GDP, and after that Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and India. But what is the difference between all those countries? Because and Maldives are not getting any, not contributing, very small amount of remittance contributing to their GDP, because Maldives getting money from the other countries, because the people from other country coming to Maldives for the travel and tourism. Nepal is getting that Gulf cooperation countries remittances is higher, and all the countries, not only Nepal, Pakistan and Bangladesh and India, also from the Gulf cooperation countries remittances are higher. If we go to the debt profile, we can see the Bangladesh debt is much lower than the other countries. What is the benefit of this Bangladesh? So that Bangladesh debt to like public debt to GDP ratio is lower, that is 38% or something like that. So Bangladesh can pay off very immediately if we and other countries will need some time to pay off due to the pandemic crisis. impact. Now I come to the point on Indian economy. So I'll start with the lockdown history. Phase 1 lockdown started with maximum stringency, what WHO and World Bank is saying, and started on 25th March, and it continued to 14th April. And phase 2 started with slight moderation on 15th April, continued to 3rd May, and the phase 3 also further moderation has been done, and started from the 4th May to 17th May. And after that, phase 4, that more relaxation we have seen, and started on 18th May, and it continued up to the 30th May. And unlock 1 started on June 1st, and unlock 2 started just 1 day before, that is July 1st. So this is the lockdown history and unlock history in India. And what is the impact of this unlock and lockdown in India? So if we go with this growth of daily COVID deaths, you can see that daily COVID death rates, COVID-19 death rates, the green line, that before the lockdown it was higher, and after the lockdown it's going down. Okay, so lockdown has an impact on that COVID death rate. And if we go with the number of deaths, it's go on increasing from March to April, May, June, and it's today also. The graph is showing that's 23rd June. It was in 14,000 something, and today I have seen that today is 17,800 or something, and the confirmed cases more than 6 lakhs. So what will be the impact of this COVID-19 before that, the death rates and the lockdown and the closure of schools, closure of non-essential business, closure of restriction on travel and tourism? What will be the impact on GDP? Like in 2015 to, if we go with this 2015-16 to 2019-20, the highest GDP in this duration, the highest GDP is 8.3% and 8.3%. And in 2019-20, it was 4.2%. If we go with the quarter-wise GDP, that is the highest was in quarter 3, 17-18, that is 8.7%, and quarter 4, that is 19, quarter 4, 19, it was in 3.1%. So that from the quarter 3, 2017, it is go on decreasing up to quarter 4, 2019-20. And it has been estimated that the sector-wise shock due to the COVID-19, major shock is on industry and services. It has been estimated by the NCAER, and the total industrial shock around 54%, 54 to 54.3%, and the service sector shock 16.3%, and the total gross value added is 25.7%. So this is the, but in these industry and services, what are the major subsectors are impacted higher, got impacted higher impact? That is the manufacturing industry and the trade and hotel in services, that is trade, hotel, transport, communication, tourism, these services. Now we come to the impact on agriculture. Agriculture is basically like it's go on the output of food grains from 2015 to 2019. It's like go on increasing. There is not much impact on the agriculture, but slightly supply issues we have seen in the lockdown period, but nothing else. If we go with the industrial impact, like from 2015 to 16 to 2019-20, we can see that in 2015-16 it was 9.6%. The industrial growth was 9.6%. It was 9.6%, and in 2019-20, that growth rate was 0.9%. So from the 2015-16 to 2019-20, it's declining the growth rate, industrial growth rate. Not only for the COVID, but before the COVID, growth rate of industrial activity is declining. And if we go with the quarter-wise, like the highest quarter is the highest percentage in the quarter 4 2017-18, and on the other hand, In 2000, in quarter 4, 2019-20, it is like 0.6%, minus 0.06%. So it's going down to the from 0. And here I'm showing the maximum energy demand from March 2020 to June 2020. Why I'm showing here energy demand? Because energy demand is giving you the taste of like what are the manufacturing activities going on. Like it's an indicator of manufacturing activity. Like we can see that electricity demand are also declining nearly 24% in April, with moderate declining about the 17% in the May 2020 and first week of June. So manufacturing industry is declining. As a whole, industrial activity is also declining. And if we go with the index of industrial production, that is the manufacturing and the general one, we can see the from February to April, we can see the downward sloping, the steep downward sloping from February to April. In the service sector, like we have already told, that service sector, the same period we have taken, that 2015-16, it was the growth rate of service sector was 99.4%. It was 9.4%, and in 2019-20, it is 5.5%, and 2020-21 it's going down like and declined to up to minus 8.2%. If we go with this quarter wise, like the last quarter of 2019-20, it's going down too much, like declining from some positive amount to negative amount up to that is 16.3%. This is the different subsector of the service sector, and that already have told what is the difference between these other sectors. And if we go to the external sector, that is export and imports, going also declining, and from the February to April, and after that, like export little bit increasing trend, but the import from the other countries, the goods and services still declining and very slightly increasing. And on that basis, we have received a Atmanirbhar stimulus package, and what the stimulus package is giving us. That stimulus package giving us like 18.7 trillion amount to the country, and RBI liquidity injection is like 8 trillion, and credit guarantee measures is 8.1 trillion, and fiscal component is 2.6, and the contingent liability, this is not the stimulus amount, but it's contingent liability 0.9 trillion. So this is the amount we have received, and I hope come to the, I have not written any conclusion because still we are in the pandemic, so I can't conclude anything on that part. So, but still we are hoping that we'll get some amount of business opportunity. We'll get some loans from this Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we'll get a good startup business, or we can renew our business with some amount of credit. And I can see that right now the two things are very much necessary for India, because like other countries, the two sector, that is health sector and the and income and employment, is very we have to look after that income and employment and the health sector. In the health sector, we can see that the in health investment, health expenditure is like 2.5% of GDP right now, but it has to be 5% of GDP. So we have to think about that, and we have to think about how to. We have to think about also that to give some free food to the and like other materials to the free food and income support. And we can say that PDS system should be stronger enough than the right now what we have, and income support, like think about like more stringent process in the MGNRG, like employment generating scheme. We have already 100 days work package, 100 days work. We can think about like how can we increase that 100 days, like maybe the 120 days or 150 days or a year, so that people will get some amount of support from the government. Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very informative session. I think we have got a lot of data and we got a lot of information, and I think we understand where it is going. Just a few questions, sir. Can I go ahead, sir, with the questions?
Sure.
Yes, sir. The first question is from Daniel. What is the way forward if all these indicators are dipping so badly?
Okay. Way forward is basically we have to create our own demand. Otherwise, we can't get anything from this Atmanirbhar or something like that. So anyway, we have to way forward. We have to think about how we can create our own demand, so that the supply will increase and the other demand activity, demand for consumer goods, demand for business activity, we have to increase all those so that the economy will revive.
Sir. Thank you, sir. The next question, sir. Do you think the government has done enough to help the migrant laborers in this COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah. For the migrant labor, I can say one thing we can do before pandemic, like on a sudden lockdown, before, if they have some news about this pandemic, so that they can move and they have some time to move, they have some transport facilities to move, so that can be I think other way around. So that this type of opposite way, I think it may not be happen, but what we have seen like last two or 3 months.
One more question, sir. Your suggestions to entrepreneurs for pulling through COVID-19 crisis?
Yeah, already we have, like all we have seen that government has given some Atmanirbhar project or support to the startup business and other business revival. So I think each and everybody can get some amount of loan or credit from the government, so that they can start their business or they can revive their business and getting profit and getting roll on money and all, so that and continue their business as well.
Thank you very much, sir, for spending your valuable time and sharing with us a lot of inputs on how the COVID-19 pandemic is going, how the economy is reacting, and for answering all our questions, sir. It was great to listen to you, sir. On behalf of all the participants, a big round of thanks to you, sir.
Thanks to all of you, and good wishes for the next rest of the days. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I now request Sundaresan, Director of Tatti, to give the vote of thanks, please. Sir, you have to unmute, sir.
Yes, sir. It gives me immense pleasure to have the vote of thanks for this wonderful event, Global Summit 2020. On behalf of the Management Committee, Tamil Nadu Advanced Technical Training Institute, and the Advisory Board of Tamil Nadu Advanced Technical Training Institute, we like to thank our guest speaker, Mr. Kumanan sir, who has given the valuable inputs on agriculture and agri-based business for the endeavoring youth of Tamil Nadu and India. And also, I like to thank Mr. Thiri Ganesan, who has given the valuable inputs on human resources in post-COVID durations. And also thanks the valuable inspiration speech given by the Lee Coakley, the international speaker, who has given us more insights on after the COVID-19. The Somnath has given us the valuable inputs on economics, on COVID-19 and the effects. On behalf of our partnering institutions, Lyell Institute of Technology, Sindhi College, Guru Nanak College, Vivekananda College, DMA College of Engineering, SIT College, Chennai, SA Engineering College and Arts and Science College, SA College of Arts and Science, Kanyaga Parameshwari College, WCC Women's Christian College, Chennai, Tirthangal Nadar College, Annai Teresa College, Patrician College, and Ahmed Universities. On behalf of our partnering institution, I'd like to thank the various participants and the principals, head of the institutions, directors, professors, and assistant professors who are patiently listened to the summit and who have taken the valuable inputs. Last but not the least, I'd like to thank our Global Relationship Officer, Inia Thendal, as the name suggests, is a sweet breeze who have delivered this session in a breezy way. And also I request the participants to submit the valuable feedbacks which makes us more values and commitments. As our commitment depicts, the time spent on us should directly proportional to the value which you have taken from us. I'm assured you would have been taken the values where it is equivalent to the time which is spent on us. Thanks once again, and thanks for being with us. It is a great honor for us to deliver this summit. Last but not the least, thanks for the people who have indirectly or directly helped us to make the summit more success, especially the MIS team who sends regular mails and calls for the people and make this event a grand success. Thank you so much for attending the summit. Kindly fill the feedbacks so that it will give us more value as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, all the speakers. Thank you so much, Joshua sir. Thank you so much, Sundaresan sir. Thank you so much to our chief guest today, Dr. SETHUKUMANAN. Thank you to the speakers, Mr. Lee Cockrell, Mr. Tiruganesan, and then Mr. Somnath Hazra, and all the supporting universities and colleges who are in partner with us. As we all say, success is on the vision of Tatti at all points of life. Happy learning. We wish to see you all tomorrow at the same time, at the same meeting ID for greater insights to post-pandemic. Unlocking the lockdown with Tatti Global Summit 2020. I now ask you all to raise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you so much, everyone. Please do fill up the link form, and we look forward to having you all tomorrow at 6 p.m. sharp. Thank you so much. Happy learning with Tatti.